Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Quick change from 50s and sunshine to 20s and snow, all before breakfast tomorrow morning.
Rick Wershey makes his case to the parole board. What did he say, and will it be enough to win his freedom after 29 years behind bars?
Also deadly speed, a mangled mess left behind after a driver plows into another car on Detroit's west side.
But first, we continue to follow breaking news from Shelby Township. That's where two brothers have been rescued after falling through ice and into a lake.
These are images from the scene on Lake Iroquois. Police say one brother was pulled out and is being taken to the hospital for treatment. We do not have word yet on his condition at the moment. The other brother was able to pull himself out of the water.
Right now, our Mark McDonald is talking to first responders, and we'll bring you any new information as soon as it becomes available.
Our other top story here at 5 right now, Detroit police are investigating. Crews from DTE are rushing to replace a utility pole after a wild two-car crash.
It happened just after 2 this afternoon at the intersection of Hubbell and West Chicago, and the scene remains very active at this time. Rod Maloney is there live tonight. And Rod, do we know what happened here?
Yeah, Kimberly, it's actually quite sad because this accident did not have to happen in any way, shape, or form. Take a look behind me here. You see the two cars. They've got DTE crews here. This is Hubbell going north and south, and this is West Chicago going east and west. And as I said, this didn't have to happen.
It sounded like an explosion.
This is the worst accident I've ever seen right here.
It was a big boom.
The spectacular crash between an early 2000 vintage white Dodge Caravan driven by a woman and a new Chevy Silverado driven by a man slammed into each other in an accident the eyewitnesses saw coming and did not want to see.
She had to be doing like 90, maybe 100. I don't know.
The black truck was right here.
Yeah.
They'll turn onto Chicago. And the white van was coming from that way, doing about 80 or 90. I know she was flying.
He had a green light. She blew through the red light. She got up in the bike lane. She got in the bike lane. The bike lane turned into the turning lane. She kept going through the light. She didn't stop.
The guy in the black car, he was in the back seat.
He ended up in the
They pulled him out the back seat, but they took the jaws of light to get her out. When they got her out, they started working on trying to bring her back and took her to the hospital.
The impact sheared off the wooden utility pole, and the bottom 4 feet wound up inside the van's front seat. They slammed into a gasoline station sign so hard, one of the pickup truck's wheel hubs landed yards away, and the tire rolled farther down the street. Inside the truck cab, Valentine's Day flowers.
If you look at those two cars, you would say nobody didn't make it. But that one guy, he was lucky.
Now, the woman who was driving the white van was taken out, brought to the hospital. She died before she ever got to the hospital. And so police who are doing the investigation here have a lot of questions, like why it was she was going so fast and why she would run a red light here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Reporting live in Detroit's west side, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod. Warren police went on a wild ride this morning trying to pull over a man who wasn't about to stop.
Yeah, Chase went from surface streets to the freeway, back to the streets before he crashed into another vehicle and then ran. Police did not immediately catch him, so let's bring in Jason Colthorpe live in Warren tonight to bring us up to date. Jason?
He's still not in custody, Devin. That's the headline right now. And we also don't know what prompted police to initiate this stop. But as you say, a winding chase that went onto the highway and then back off, starting in Warren before coming to a crashing in at 11 and Gratiot in Roseville.
The Warren Police Department got involved in a pursuit that culminated here at 11 Mile and Gratiot.
Warren police were chasing this gray Ford Fusion when it slammed into a white Chrysler 300. An eyewitness was headed into the McDonald's there when it happened.
I was getting my wife a McMuffin. All of a sudden I seen hit the car, and then he jumped out. That was it. He just ran. I mean, he just booked.
The person they were pursuing bailed out on foot. He is currently out and about somewhere in the local neighborhood. We have officers searching for him at this time.
Both Warren and Roseville police searched door to door with canines for the suspect described only as a short black man with small dreads wearing a tan jacket.
So I come running down here to make sure my mom's okay because she lives by herself.
Dave Miller got word of what was happening and rushed over to make sure everything was okay at his mom's house.
I checked the garage out and everything and just making sure the neighborhood and all my neighbors were safe. It was a little chaos for a little while there.
Even without an arrest, neighbors didn't seem too worried and were even able to shrug off all the commotion.
Just another day in Roseville.
Yeah. So what about the suspect's 2017 Ford Fusion? We did a little digging into that end of it and found it's registered to an EAN Holdings company out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's the company which owns Enterprise Rent-A-Car. So the next question is, was that car stolen, and where was it rented from? Well, details today have been very sketchy from Warren Police. All we've been able to get is that the man is not in custody, and it goes without saying that Warren Police are usually under orders not to give anything out unless it goes through the mayor's office. We did try Mayor Jim Fout's office, but he remains in hiding from the media. That's a story, though, we are going to get into at 6 o'clock. Guys, live in Warren tonight. Back to you.
All right, Jason. Well, after 29 years behind bars, the longest of any nonviolent juvenile offender in Michigan history, the guy known as White Boy Rick Wershe, could be a step closer to freedom tonight.
That's after Wershe was granted a crucial meeting with the head of the Michigan Parole Board. Kevin Dietz traveled up north to Manistee for that meeting, and he just arrived back here in Metro Detroit. So, Kevin, this is crucial in the step in the process.
This was a very big step indeed, and I talked to Rick Wershe today, and I talked to his attorney, and both were very pleased with how today's interview process went, and both are feeling very, very good about Rick Wershe's chances at parole. Rick Wershe is a huge step closer to freedom after a very successful interview with the chairman of Michigan's parole board.
He asked me about what I had accomplished while I was in prison. He talked to me a little bit about the Florida situation. He talked to me about staying out of trouble because I had never received a ticket in here. And, you know, the programs that I had taken while I'm in here.
Wershe's attorney sat in on the meeting and said Rick took full ownership of his crimes as a 16 and 17-year-old drug dealer and his involvement in a Florida car theft scheme from behind bars.
He held nothing back. He told exactly what happened, not only with the drug crime that he was convicted of, but his minor involvements in crime when he was a juvenile. He didn't hold anything back, and he was very forthright.
Wershe told the parole board he is deeply remorseful.
I know that drugs are a plague on society, whether it's prescription drugs or illegal drugs, and I told him that, you know, I was a kid. The things that I looked at as a, you know, kind of like the norm back then, you know, today I'm as anti-drug as anyone.
And that if released, he will be a model citizen.
You know, I told him that I have a tremendous support system, and I told him that if he did afford me this opportunity, that he would never see me in front of him again. And I truly believe that.
So here's what happens now. The chairman of the parole board will write up a report on today's interview and make a recommendation to the other 9 members of the parole board. In mid-March, they're going to take a vote on whether or not Rick Wershe will get a full public parole hearing. If he does, he could be out by June or July. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
Kevin, you've been telling us about this movie that's supposed to be coming out, kind of chronicling his life. Do we know when that's going to be out and if Wershe will be out before it opens?
Yeah, they just announced that movie is going to be released January 2018. It's unlikely Rick Wershe will be there because remember that car theft ring Rick was involved with behind bars. He still owes Florida 2 years. So when he's done in Michigan, he still has to go down to Florida and serve 2 years before he's out for good.
Okay. Kevin, we know you'll keep us posted. Thank you.
Well, I think we'd certainly take 2 straight days of sun. We're not going to get 3.
It was splendid, though, while it lasted. Let's check in with Ben because he's tracking some snow in the forecast.
Yeah, things are going to change pretty quickly, Devin and Kim, and you can already start to see where the snow showers are coming in northern lower Michigan. They're on their way here. But we've got temperatures right now which are still holding pat with 50 degrees, and we're not going to fall very far here by 6 p.m. 46, 42 by 8 o'clock. Could be seeing some flakes, at least in our north zone by that point. And then look for a few snow showers by 10 o'clock tonight. Will this be the end of the white stuff, and will we ever get these 50-degree numbers back? We'll look at that in your 4-zone forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Devin?
All right, Ben. In Washington today, the sudden resignation of National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has left the Trump administration scrambling to fill a key cabinet position after just 3.5 weeks in business. And now the big question seems to be why Flynn kept his job for weeks after the White House was alerted about that fateful phone call with Russia's ambassador. Tracy Potts following the Flynn fallout tonight from Washington. Tracy?
Devin, good evening. There's an acting national security advisor in place tonight with 3 people on the short list as the White House tries to explain why General Mike Flynn stepped down just hours after a senior advisor said he had the full confidence of President Trump. President Trump ignoring questions today as his spokesman explains what led to the resignation of National Security Advisor Mike Flynn.
We got to a point not based on a legal issue, but based on a trust issue, where the level of trust between the president and General Flynn had eroded to the point where he felt he had to make a change.
White House lawyers found Flynn did nothing illegal, but the president asked him to resign after it went public that Flynn misled the vice president and others about discussing sanctions with Russia's ambassador. Flynn admits he inadvertently briefed with incomplete information.
You cannot have a national security advisor misleading the vice president and others.
Former acting Attorney General Sally Yates first alerted the White House 3 weeks ago, warning that Flynn was vulnerable to blackmail. Yates was fired a week later, so why did it take weeks to deal with Flynn?
This idea of why did it take so long, I think the first question should be, where was the Department of Justice in this?
Democrats want answers on whether Flynn acted alone.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
Even some Republicans want answers.
The whole involvement, the whole scenario, the whole thing as it transpired.
I'd like to know, did he just do this as a rogue General Flynn, or did it come from somebody else in the White House?
Republican leaders are resisting calls for an independent investigation. And speaking of investigations, tonight the Office of Government Ethics wants the White House to take a look at what Kellyanne Conway said promoting Ivanka Trump's products. They're recommending disciplinary action. From Washington, Tracy Potts, Local 4.
Just another day in the nation's capital, right, Tracy? It's been 5 years since tragedy struck a Detroit mother, turning her world upside down.
I miss my son. That was my only son.
New tonight, her plea for justice as her beloved son's killer is still on the streets.
And remembering Mr. I. Bernie's here as Tigers from, or players rather, from both the Tigers and the Red Wings opening up about the loss of their beloved leader.
Before we go to break, we want to continue following that breaking news story from Shelby Township with that dramatic rescue on the ice after 2 teams fell through. Our Mara McDonald just spoke to the first responders there on the scene. We'll get out to her for a live report coming up in just a little bit. We'll be right back.
Valentine. New at 6.
A fire at a refugee camp leaves a toddler badly burned. The little boy has spent the past 3 months recovering right here in Metro Detroit. New at 6, the fight to reunite him with his parents.
Also, new insight into the drinking habits of college students. At 6, how much, how often, and how a student's living situation can be a big factor. That's at 6 o'clock. Well, for the first time, players from both the Red Wings and the Tigers are opening up about the loss of their leader and team owner, Mike Ilitch.
Yeah, Bernie's here with us now. Bernie, he was loved by so many people.
No question about it. And the reason the players loved him was Mike Ilitch wanted to win as badly as the players wanted to win. And to any athlete, that's all they want. An owner who cares as much as they do. Ilitch was a guy who constantly provided his teams with what they needed to win, and the players will never forget that.
How great he was with the community and with the sports teams, how much he wanted to win, how much he wanted to grow Detroit. I think those aspects of him are pretty important. He's not just he's not just a sports figure in the background. He was trying to make the city better as well, and that's pretty important.
I know in his heart he loved baseball, played minor league baseball, and I mean he did everything he possibly could. We just it tears me to pieces that we couldn't do it for him. So I don't know. Hopefully he'll be an angel on our side this year, and he'll be watching from above, and hopefully we can get it done for him.
Lots of today's ownerships it feels more business-like. With him, he was the father of this team, and so he was certainly unique in so much of what he did. His impact on youth hockey, his impact on the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan, and certainly his impact on the Red Wings and the Tigers.
Yeah, I think everybody's just finding out what an impact he had up and down.
Yeah, sounds like he was a fan just as much as the fans are fans.
Well, I'll tell you, do we have time? I have one just really quick story, but I think it was 2009 when Pittsburgh won the Stanley Cup here after Game 7, and there was a lot of questionable calls and non-calls in the game, and I'll never forget, I saw him walking down where the Zamboni was coming out, and Gary Bettman had just walked by, and Gary Bettman walked and he said, Mike, congratulations, your team played well, and he extended his hand, and Mike walked right by him. He was as angry as the players were
that's what I mean.
at feeling they got jobbed in that deal.
The players, I think, always felt that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. More from Bernie coming up a little bit later on. Let's bring in Ben, and we mentioned earlier there might be a little bit of snowfall coming our way.
I think we're going to feel like we got jobbed here after what we got this afternoon going into tomorrow.
It's beautiful out there, though. Blue skies. It's just
been nice
so far. Yeah, that's going to change really quickly tonight as we look at our winter weather advisories, which are on the west side of the state. Those are going to be moving in once we get into the second half of the evening. There you see everything in purple. Those where the winter weather advisories are right now. So we've skipped out on that, but we're still going to be seeing the snow showers make their way down here from the northern side of the state. And you can already start to see that activity here in northern lower Michigan. The leading edge of this turning green as it's running into the warmer air that we've got here in southern Michigan. So we'll probably see some rain showers, especially here on the western edge of it, before this changes over to snow showers. But even then, we're not looking at any accumulation. This is really going to be flakes in name only. And you can see a lot of that sunshine that's out there, but the clouds starting to build on the horizon as you look out from Mount Clemens. Still 49 degrees at Metro Airport. West winds at 17. Pressures on the low side, 2963, and getting a little lower as that front approaches. But anything that we see is going to be done by midnight. Will be dry overnight and wake up to dry conditions in the morning. But it's going to be a whole different feel to tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the 20s, wind chills in the teens, and we'll look at that in your 4-zone forecast in a minute. But by tomorrow afternoon, we'll see some snow showers hanging around in the afternoon. And again, just in name only, not anticipating accumulation. This warm front's headed our way for the weekend. In fact, it'll be here by Friday afternoon. We're talking 50s for days as we get into the later half of this forecast. 28 tonight, so we'll look for a rain or a snow shower to develop in the mid to late evening. It will be breezy, so those 15 to 25 mile-an-hour winds are really going to make it feel a whole lot different tomorrow morning. Highs only warming about 4 degrees from lows to highs on the day Wednesday. But walking out the door tomorrow morning, this is how it's going to feel with that metro zone wind chill right around 19 in the city. But everybody in the teens for wind chills tomorrow morning. Keep in mind, it felt temperature was 50 degrees this afternoon, so this is going to be a huge switch. South zone 14 to 17 for those wind chills tomorrow morning. West zone wind chills anywhere between 13 and 16. And in our north zone tomorrow, very similar numbers, at least staying in double digits there in Sanilac County, about 12 to 15 for those wind chills tomorrow morning. So we've got 2 days where we're going to see temperatures slightly below average, and then we're going to start coming back up above average Friday and then 50s for Saturday through Tuesday. Now, we're not going to set any records. Those are in the 60s, but I don't think anybody cares.
No, not at all.
All that sunshine and 50s, and we don't have to worry about rain.
Making some weekend plans. Yeah, it looks great.
Really do. Hit the golf course.
All right, breaking up on Valentine's Day is bad enough. Having to pay your ex $1 billion to do it probably takes the Valentine's cake. We'll tell you who's doing that noon tonight.
And it's a story straight out of a spy novel. Ahead here at 5, the half-brother of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un drops dead in an airport. And all signs are saying this was no accident.
But first, a race against time. How bags full of rocks may just save a California town from being hit by a 30-foot high wall of water. Next.
My kids never.
All right, a good news update right now in California. The sheriff there has just cleared everyone in the evacuation zone from the Oroville Dam to go back home, but he says residents should still stay prepared.
It's thanks to sandbagging on an epic scale as helicopters lift parcels of boulders and drop them in holes along the Oroville Dam's emergency spillway. The dam itself is solid, but it's only as strong as the spillways, and those are broken and eroding.
NBC News has learned 3 environmental groups warned of potential danger back in 2005, recommending the emergency spillway should be lined in concrete because it didn't meet modern safety standards.
Well, the saying goes, breaking up is hard to do, especially you'd expect on Valentine's Day, especially true for two of the country's biggest health insurance companies, Aetna and Humana, looking to partner up in a $34 billion deal. It would have given Aetna a chance to expand its presence in Medicare Advantage coverage, which involves privately run versions of Medicare. But a federal judge had concerns about how that deal would affect consumer choices and the competition. Aetna will now have to pay Humana $1 billion in what I guess you'd call a breakup fee. Man. Crews continue to work on fixing a water leak that is causing more steam than usual in downtown Detroit.
And they have made progress as manholes are now covered with bricks. I know you can't see anything, so they won't rattle. But the biggest problem area over the last month has been on Gratiot Avenue near Russell. Crews tell us they expect the valve causing the leak to be replaced by the end of the week.
New at 5:30.
We use it to soothe pesky cold symptoms. When abused, the consequences can be very dangerous.
It's a big problem, especially with younger folks.
The warning signs your child is using an over-the-counter drug to get high.
The 5th annual Macomb Business Awards, awarding companies in Macomb County for things like diversity, efficiency, small businesses to look up to or look to. But an arts academy also won. We'll explain how and why that could happen.
A family is searching for closure almost 5 years after their loved one was shot and killed on Detroit's West Side.
My son was a good person. He deserved to be here with me.
Hear more from the victim's family and their message to the person who did this. We'll see.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
5 years later, and this broken-hearted mother isn't giving up. Tonight, she's desperate for your help in finding her son's killer. It was April 26th of 2012 that Keita Johnson's life was turned upside down.
That night, her son, Kimon Johnson, was gunned down in broad daylight as he sat in a friend's car. Coco McAvoy spoke to his family today as they asked for new clues in the case. Coco?
Devin and Kimberly, the family is searching for clues. They'd like some closure. Kimon Johnson was shot and killed in this area. And though it's almost been 5 years, it hasn't gotten any easier for the family.
Because my son not here anymore. And that was my laughter, but he lives through me and his son.
Keita Johnson remembers the day her son, 21-year-old Kimon Johnson, was murdered like it was yesterday.
And I come from work. My son's on the ground. He's not breathing anymore.
It happened in the 20,000 block of Ferguson near Pembroke Avenue.
Kimon was sitting in a vehicle when an unknown suspect approached him and fired several shots.
Kimon Johnson was a father to a now 8-year-old boy, a loving son, and a brother to 4 sisters. One of them, Dominique Johnson.
It's tatted on me. Rest in peace, my brother.
The family is looking for some answers in Kimon's murder.
And I just want closure. I want justice to work. I don't want my son to just then got murdered like he was a dog in the street and nothing's been done for him.
And they hope the person who did this is listening and finds it in their heart to speak up.
I forgive you. Just come forward and maybe God will forgive you. I'm not here to judge you. I don't know what happened, but I know my son was a good person. He deserved to get shot down and die.
And if you know anything about Kimon's murder, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4, back to you.
And Coco, there is an incentive for someone providing the right information that leads to an arrest here.
Yes, right now the reward is $2,500. However, if someone gives information before midnight, that reward increases by $1,000, making it $3,500 for any information in Kimon's murder.
Let's hope it does. All right, Coco.
The half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is dead after becoming ill at an airport in Malaysia.
This is video of 45-year-old Kim Jong-nam traveling at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport on Monday. Just moments before he died, Malaysian officials are investigating his death as sudden. An autopsy, we're told, is planned. Now, Nam is Kim Jong-un's half-brother. The two have actually never met, though, because of a tradition requiring potential successors being raised separately in North Korea. But the great mystery right now surrounding his death. Police in Germany say they are searching for a penguin stolen from a zoo.
Zookeepers said they noticed the penguin missing during a routine count over the weekend, and after a search, they concluded it was stolen. The bird has the number 53 on its wing and an implanted chip to identify it. Zookeepers are now pledging that the bird be returned They said it cannot survive without its special diet and controlled environment. Okay, across Michigan this Tuesday, we're following stories from Saginaw and something that affects folks who live along the Lake Erie shoreline.
Let's start this roundup, though, in Flint. That's where police say a boy accidentally shot his father after mistaking him for a burglar. Shooting happened just before 9 o'clock last night. Right now, police not sharing much in the way of details. They say the father, though, is expected to be okay. That's the important part now.
A police dog reported missing can now get back on the job after he was found safe.
German Shepherd Debo works with the Saginaw Police Department, but went missing Monday night while vacating with his handler near Chippewa Lake. Saginaw police officers were called to search for him. Debo was then found this morning about 13 hours after disappearing, walking along a road near the lake, and fortunately found without any wounds or injuries.
A mission to stop algae bloom from growing to an extreme in Lake Erie is now taking shape. Back in 2015, Michigan, Ontario, and Ohio signed a deal to make a 40% reduction to phosphorus runoff. Phosphorus feeds the algae, and it's also a threat to drinking water. Well, now Ohio says it will work to identify growth hotspots in Lake Erie over the next year, and Michigan plans to cut phosphorus discharges at 30 wastewater plants in the state of Ohio. Businesses gathered today in Shelby Township for friendly competition as awards were handed out in categories like diversity and efficiency.
Now, on the face of it, maybe not the kind of story that always generates headlines, but as Nick Monticelli shows us, there's one winner that caught everyone by surprise.
Now, here's the thing. This is the 5th time they're doing these Macomb Business Awards. You've got nominees like automotive suppliers and hospitals, but in one category, an Arts Academy won out of Fraser.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
These Macomb County Business Awards have kind of become a big deal, recognizing businesses for things like diversity, efficiency, or small businesses on the rise. During a breakfast in Shelby Township, the awards were announced, but there was one name in the race that few know.
Arts Academy Awards.
This is pretty fancy for a science teacher.
Arts Academy in the Woods is a charter school in Fraser focused on infusing academics and arts.
You focus on your arts and your academics every day. People don't understand that I have art classes where I can do what I love every day and still learn at the same time, so it's really cool.
The school won in a category looking for diversity and inclusion. They beat out an automotive supplier and a hospital.
It is a diverse community, and there's so much uniqueness and talent as well as academic talent.
As a charter school, we're the only charter school chartered by the ISD, and they allow us to collaborate and communicate with all the other school districts in the county, and it's really been this is my life's work, and I'm so proud of it.
Dr. Michael Mitchell is the principal there, obviously a proud one.
I have heard kids tell me that without this school they wouldn't be alive. It's not even hyperbole, it saves kids' lives.
Seems like business leaders are appreciating what the arts can do.
Even though we're small, we're growing, and we really give people a safe place, an exciting place to go every day.
In Shelby Township, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
About that, Arts Academy in the Woods is the only tuition-free public high school for the arts.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that amazing?
And emotional.
Yeah, it was sweet.
There.
Yeah,
that's really
nice.
nice.
Great. A blast from the past could be primed for a comeback.
New tonight, what makes this old school cell phone so special that you could soon see it on store shelves.
Also, a firefighter caught up in a very dangerous situation at 5:30. What happened to this first responder that had nothing to do with a fire?
But first, a Local 4 Defenders special report, the over-the-counter medicine some are using to get high. The important warning, no parent should miss. That's next.
On the next live.
New at 6.
An Iraqi boy whose family escaped ISIS has been living in the U.S. for months without his mom and dad.
They've been through so much trauma.
What kept his parents from coming here to the U.S. and what the future now holds for the little boy.
Plus, a Chesterfield Township man hauled in by police after the story they heard from a preteen girl.
A frightening trend is showing up dealing with cough medicine and perhaps your child.
Federal agents telling us it's a big problem. Young people abusing cough medicine to get high. Here's Local 4 Defender Karen Drew.
Don't think it can happen to your family? A recent case in Illinois of a 14-year-old boy overdosing on Triple C has brought this concern back to the forefront. Parents need to look for warning signs their child could abuse a drug found in more than 120 cold medicines available over the counter.
Extremely dangerous to abuse cough medicine.
Robotripping, Triple C, DXM, even Skittling, all street names for using the over-the-counter cough medicine to get high.
It's a big problem, especially with younger folks, 8th to 12th grade.
According to the nonprofit Stop Medicine Abuse, as many as 1 in 30 teens abuse these over-the-counter drugs. Cough medicines have a special ingredient to suppress annoying coughs. It's called dextromethorphan, or DXM. In small doses, it can soothe your symptoms.
Dextromethorphan is a very common ingredient in cough medications. And initially, it was described as being something that could be used as a cough suppressant. But it turns out in very high doses, it can produce some weird hallucinogenic sort of opioid or opiate type responses. But in fact, at high doses, those responses are very unpredictable, and it goes from being a little bit high to being very toxic very quickly.
They're meant to heal you, and if you're ill, if you abuse them like anything else, it can prove fatal. It can really hurt you.
Pay attention to your teens' shopping habits, what they keep in their backpack or their room. Check your medicine cabinet regularly. Notice if cough medicine goes missing when no one in your home is sick, or if you find it somewhere other than where you keep it.
If you see abnormal trash, like multiple bottles of cough syrup or even one bottle, and you know your kid's not sick, or if they're taking cough syrup or self-prescribing cough syrup, it certainly should be a red flag to a parent.
Tim Planson of the Drug Enforcement Administration Detroit Division also warns Purple Drank is making a resurgence.
It's coating cough syrup basically, and it requires a prescription, but it's mixed with Sprite or something sweet, and to make it so you can ingest it or drink it.
The message here: just because it's legal, it doesn't mean it's not dangerous.
If you take enough of any over-the-counter medication in an attempt to get high, if you're one of the unlucky people that do not metabolize it well, it could kill you.
Planson worries any abuse of drugs can be a potential gateway to an opioid addiction. We're talking about prescription pain pills and eventually heroin. I'm Karen Drew, Local 4 Defenders.
All right, Karen. Well, a commonly known law enforcement motto is protect and serve, but for one officer in North Carolina, there's a third piece to the motto: protect, serve, and dance.
Run a man on that beat, run a man on that beat, run a man on that beat, run a man on that beat. Do your dance.
Sheriff's Deputy Steve Williams was challenged to a dance-off by that fellow you see there named Jason. And from the looks of it, Williams did a nice job keeping up with Jason. This video was posted online with the message, "We love kids and we do more than just write tickets."
Yeah, that's a great way to bridge the gap between police officers and kids, I guess. Whatever it takes.
This has been largely Bernie's interface with the department.